Hello everyone, hope you all are doing good. Welcome back to this channel named Inside Angle and to the fifth episode of this series named Going Beyond Marksheets. Today we have with us an exceptional personality. His name is Aravind Jairam. Well, he secured an All India rank 2 in his CA IPCC November 17 exams. He secured an All India rank 9 in CA final July 21 exams. He's done his articleship from KPMG. He went to St. Xaviers College, Kolkata, and recently got into Boston Consulting Group, that is BCG. Also, when in school, he's played for his state cricket team in the under 16. So welcome to this channel, Aravind. Hope you are doing good. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Aravind, for joining us. Now, what makes it special for Aravind to be here, and what is very inspiring about his story is not his accolades, but his story where despite having severe typhoid and fever during his CA final exams, he managed to still appear for all the 8 papers and still get All India rank 9. So that is certainly inspiring, which is exactly the reason we have him over here. So in fact, without further ado, Aravind, let's just get started with the first question. And that is, how are those 16 days of CA final exam?
Hi, Divesh, and thanks for having me here. One thing I want to mention is that I really liked how you said November 17 exam, July 21 exam, and not attempt, because that's really what I have been propounding, and I really believe. So that was really, really good. So if you asked me about the 16 days of exam, so if I have to tell you or summarize you that in a word, that was challenging and inspiring for me. So challenging in the sense that everyone feels the heat during those 16 days. You are just thinking about one thing all throughout those 16 days. But what was inspiring for me, in addition to the fact that it was very challenging, was that during the second group, I had typhoid. Actually, I contracted typhoid, having a fever of 103, and like going to a clinic for taking medication just before the exam to make yourself fit for the exam, and then going to the exam center and giving the exams. So that I really felt, if someone told me that this is what I would be doing, maybe say in the future, I would not have believed that I would be able to do. But since I've done it, I can say that, yes, I've done something worth mentioning. So that was the summary.
Could you elaborate a little on what exactly happened? I mean, when did you contract typhoid? Why did you not go for an opt-out?
Yes. So what happened was, like, after the first group was completed, so then I actually felt like my body was getting heated up. So like I was not able to sit properly. I was not able to focus on things. So then I checked the temperature and it was shooting up gradually. So like the next day, just like tomorrow, suppose second group starts with cost. So tomorrow I'm having the cost paper, and today in the morning I really felt that my body was extremely heated up. I was feeling extremely fatigued. So that's when like I went to a clinic nearby, and then after a few tests, it was confirmed that I had typhoid and I was really having a bad temperature. Then it was really about 102, 103. So the first thing which struck me, or first thing which I thought at that time, was that during all the preparation period, I always thought that I wanted to score really well in my exams and preferably get a 1, 2, 3. So that was actually a clear-cut target. But like if I'm giving first group and I'm not giving any of the exams of second group, so then I would not be able to get a rank. So so just then browsing through the notification or the circulars of the institute, like what is there any way in which I can maybe opt out of the exam, but make my first group which I've given the result not valid, or so that I can give both the groups at a later stage and then get my rank. But then after all this R&D, I checked that it was not possible. So then I was left with only one option, that I had to give the exams, and that's how I proceeded with it.
And how did you manage to survive during those days with a fever of 102, 103? I'm sure it would have been very difficult to even study or even sit to study during those 1 week or days.
Yes, it was difficult. But as I again said, when you don't have an option with you in front of you, like you do things. So at this time, I realized that I was not having any other option other than to sit with my books in front of me and then give the exams. One more thing I would like to mention here is that you have prepared, like consider the situation, you have prepared all throughout the period of preparation leave, you have read everything, and right before the exams, you are in a position where you are not able to maybe revise or revisit the stuff. Does that negate your entire 6 months preparation completely? The answer is no. Yes, it affects psychologically very much, but the point is that it does not completely negate whatever you have learned, whatever you have studied. So the point which you have to consider at this, maybe at that level, is that it's just a psychological phenomena that you have to make yourself mentally strong and maybe mentally more fit that, okay, this is what it is, but let's go with the flow right now. Let's not think of any other thing. Let's go with the flow. And that's exactly what I tried at that time. And hopefully
Certainly,
it turned out well.
He did. I'm sure it did. In fact, a few takeaways from whatever Aravind said, and I have now known him for quite some time, and that's how I can say this. He, in fact, really struggled a lot during the second group of exams, and he had to visit the doctor almost every day to probably get a couple of injections so that he could still manage to stay afloat and appear for the exams at the bare minimum. And you all can imagine how difficult it would have been for him to even sit upright when he has a fever of say 102 or 103. And while I'm sure he's being humble enough to say that it's just a psychological barrier. It's not just a psychological barrier. It's also a physical issue. But then he still mentally kept himself so strong that despite the fact that probably he was not able to devote enough time to study just one day before exam. And we feel even just 1.5 days before the exam is so less to study for the exam next day, especially the second group's having mammoth subjects like DT and IDT. But he still managed to revise. And even if not, he was so sure about his preparation from earlier that he managed to appear for all the exams. In fact, kudos to him for at the first place appearing for the exams, because I doubt if I were in his place, I would have even attempted the second group. And that is his dedication towards him trying to achieve his goal that he had set for himself, that is an all India rank. Which is why now that he knew he could not nullify the papers of the first group that he'd already given, he wanted to appear for the second group and try and get that all India rank 1, 2, or 3 that was possible. But I'm sure here what matters is not an all India rank for him, but his dedication. Like he mentioned, it's an inspiration for him and for I'm sure for all of those who are watching this video, that probably once you decide to achieve a goal, you can certainly do it despite having a fever of whether 102 or 103, I would say. So that is certainly inspiring. Now, jumping straight to your result here, when you came to know about the results, when you saw the screen, what was the immediate reaction? What are the thoughts that were running in your head?
Okay, so this is quite interesting. So actually how I came out my results is through my friend, because I was sleeping, because the institute declared that they would probably declare the results maybe in the late evening. So in the noon I was sleeping. My friend messaged me over WhatsApp and told me that, boss, this is the result. And like I was wondering, because first of all, the person didn't have my roll number, the person didn't have my enrollment number also, student enrollment number. So I was not knowing how the person got to know about my result. But I checked it, and it was AR9. The first thing that flashed in front of me was that I was both happy and satisfied, because certainly I'd given the exams with a lot of pain, especially the second group. But at the same time, I was also a bit thoda, it felt that maybe because I thought that I could have done better if I had not had this apocalypse over me for the second group. But still, the overall feeling was ecstatic. I was really happy.
Great. That's really nice to hear from you. And in fact, now that you've achieved all India rank 9, in such a situation, I'm sure you must be really proud of yourself. Though with a little bit of disappointment that you could not achieve the original goal that you had set for yourself. But I'm sure what matters is the benchmark that you set, that is still achieving a single-digit rank despite all this. And now that you've got into BCG, that is the Boston Consulting Group, how do you feel now?
Yes, it's very satisfying journey. One thing I would mention, that I was not particularly disappointed about the fact that I didn't get what was the prior goal. It was just that, see, you have thought about a goal, and once like you fall short of it, there is a certain bit of maybe like I could have done better. But disappointment would never be the word here, because I'm more than happy with what I've done. One thing I can say is that your past achievements are the base which set you up. So you cannot completely ignore your past achievements. At the same time, you cannot completely be proud that this is the end. I've achieved everything I can be. You have to, like, you add new bases at every level. In class 12, you had a good achievement, so you had at that base. Then probably in your undergraduation, you had another base. So increase your bases. So that's how it is. Now, relevance of your results, yes, they are very relevant. But at the same time, it's not that if you are not having a good result, or if you're having a very good result, you can be sure that you are in for sunshine and rainbows. That's not going to happen. You still have to work hard about it.
Don't get disappointed, because ultimately you did all that you could have done from your end. So like
Yes,
Aravind did
absolutely.
his best, despite having COVID, he put in all of his efforts. So what matters is not the final result, but the journey that you went. That is one. What I would feel is you should certainly feel proud about your past achievements, but that should remain a base, and you should always be forward looking as to what lies next in your life.
True. Absolutely true.
Great. So, Aravind, why don't you run us quickly through how your CFI journey has been, all 3 years of your articleship and the last few months of study?
So let me divide this period into two categories. First is the 2.5 months of articleship, and the next would be the study leave period. So as you mentioned, I was AR2 in my inter. So right after that, I started my articleship with KPMG Kolkata, as I was currently pursuing my BCom honors from St.xaviers College there in Kolkata. So like you have also been a ranker, and after IPCC, you feel that I've done great stuff. And when you enter your articleship, so you're like, I'm invincible now. हमको सब आता है. Because you have studied everything. You have not worked. You have just studied. So you feel that हमको सब आता है. So how it started for me was very interesting. The period I joined was just the start audit period. I was in the audit department. So the audit period had just started. So when I joined, I was put into an audit engagement. I was literally having no clue about what is Excel, how to start, how to talk to people, how to talk to clients, what maybe say having experience for more than your age. So that was very challenging initially, but hopefully I learned about it. So yes, my period during the 2.5 years of articleship has been very like a roller coaster ride for me. Like starting from, I was literally having, I'll be honest, I had no clue about how to use the Excel or how to use maybe say Microsoft Word properly. So like learning all those stuff, and then going to client spaces and then talking to them in a way that you have to ensure that you don't come across as a newbie, because you are representing your firm, you're representing the auditor. So like learning that stuff, that was very inspiring for me. And if I have to take you through this later part of the journey, it was long hours of work. It was working with great people, like they were extremely knowledgeable, working with people who will not listen to you anytime. And then obviously you have a lot of office parties to be there. But
yes, sure
I'll again say managing this articleship with the college which I had, that was thoda challenging for me, because I had in college from 6 to 10 in the morning, and then you have to go to the office, and office hours run until how it goes. So that was a bit challenging, managing your academics, managing your college, managing your even the work, because you cannot compromise on any of the aspect. So that was challenging, but hopefully I've learned around it. And now if I have to come to you about,
I really like the way, Arvind, I really like the way you're putting it so simply and so humbly as to just use the word challenging. I would say it was much beyond the word challenging. So
because I'm
basically,
not
to give
aware
a
of any
broader
other
context.
synonym of challenging other than a more vigorous synonym of
No, I mean,
challenging.
probably a broader description would certainly help the audience get the context better. So Arvind, to manage his college with his articleship, which obviously, like he mentioned, was long hours, he used to like get up at 4, reach the college at 6 because the college gates would close at 6. From 6 to 10, he used to go to the college, and then he used to go for his articleship. And all of this, he's belonging to Nagpur, but he did his articleship from Kolkata. So all of this he managed staying away from home as well, which I'm sure makes it even more difficult. So that is how it was very rigorous journey for him. But yeah, obviously all of us are proud that he managed to sail through very well. Yes, Arvind, why don't you run us through the last few months of his study?
Okay. So, okay, my exam was like in November 20. The scheduled exam, because I gave my APCC in November 17. So my exam schedule final was in November 20. So I'll tell you what exactly happened was, it was during March 20, when COVID was just beginning to go wild. I was at a client's place for audit. So what happened was, this lockdown was suddenly announced, and I was not able to get back to Kolkata, or maybe my hometown, Nagpur. So what happened was, I was stuck there for 3 months, and I was not having any of my books with me. I was not having any of my even like personal laptop, in order to complete the classes which were long pending. So because of that, like it was becoming very impossible for me to give my exams in November 17, because I had to go on my study leave from May, but the course was not complete for me. So then I decided that I'll probably defer my exam. So then like this lockdown ended, and then in June I came back to Nagpur, and then I got all my books here. Now from June, I thought that I'll start rigorously. I'll devote a reasonable amount of time to studies, and I'll try to complete my syllabus. But what happened was completely contrary. I went on my study leave in November starting, or October last week. So from June till November, what happened was the work hours went extremely insane. So again, I could not complete actually what I wanted to. There was a very little progress in it. So then I probably, like at the start of my study leave, like the status was that for like I was 8 papers, one paper was completed 80%, the classes were completed 80%, and the other paper it was just completed 50%. So the remaining 6 were completely like very new, had to be done. So then it was very challenging, first of all, to realize that you just have 6 months with you, and then you have to complete your classes, plus you have to revise the stuff, plus you have to practice, like doing all these things in 6 months. Like it sounded very, very daunting for me. So I spoke to a few of my friends that I decided that let's first complete the classes. So during from the study this study leave from November until Feb mid, so I completed my classes, all the classes during this period, and I literally used to do around four to five classes a day. So this was how this period went. So like once I completed my classes, then I felt a bit relieved that yes, I know something. I know the entire course now. Now I can maybe build up on this. So then it was like you had to practice, you had to revise, and you had to make multiple revisions, you had to make your own notes. And then institute was again launching new materials every alternate day. You have to go through those also. So again it was kind of difficult, but like you had to do it again, as I mentioned earlier, you don't have any other option. So you have to do. So that's how it went. But one thing which was very helpful was that institute deferred the exams for 1.5 months, and that really gave me a breather, because continuously doing, like keeping your mind constantly engaged for say 15, 16 hours a day for 6, 7 months is really tough. So that break was really much needed, and uh, probably made a good use of it. And then once the exam started, first group went well, and second group the bomb came.
But I see how you mentioned it was thoda difficult. I'm glad you just put
thoda was very difficult.
glad. So why don't you tell us about your decision of going to St. Xaviers, Kolkata, despite the fact that you knew it was supposed to be very difficult. Why did you happen to choose St. Xaviers?
So I was having options in front of me, like it was St. Xaviers or even the good colleges of TU, because I had 97 in my class 12 CPSC. So I was having the options. But I felt like if I would go to TU, because the college timings are such that you will not be able to start with your articleship right after you complete your inter or IPCC. But at St. Xaviers, the college timings were very compatible. And St. Xaviers was also, I guess at that time it was ranked 2. Now I'm not sure how it is, but I think it's very good right now also. But so the prime consideration which I considered to decide was just this thing that I wanted to start my articleship as quickly as possible, because no point wasting time to 2 years, like no point waiting 2 years, right? So that's why I decided to go for Xavier's, even though it was the farthest. But still, like I think it's the best decision I made, because that's how CA and IPCC rank 2 happened. That's how my articleship happened. That's how my CA final happened, and ultimately now where I am, this also is just because I went to Kolkata. It was a completely new place. It was like I was in a completely dynamic environment. So like you had to constantly push yourself. You were there alone, and you had to push yourself all by yourself. That self motivation, that thing that really comes to you, that really what is drives you. So that really came when you're around competitive people, when you're in a competitive environment. So I think that environment is really very conducive to bring out the competitive nature out of you.
Got it. That certainly helps, Arvind. In fact, I would like to probably just summarize this entire discussion in a minute or so. So basically, this guy thought of going to another city to challenge himself. Probably he knew that he'll learn a lot of things when he moves to another city, which he did. Went to the best of the colleges amongst the options that were available for him. Again, knowing the fact that that which meant a challenge to him. Ended up getting All India rank 2 in IPCC. Taking up a challenge, going for articleship in Big 4 along and managing it along with his college, that is St. Xaviers. Again, a big difficulty. Despite not having completed classes in time, still having managed to survive and pulling those long hours in the study leaves to compensate for it and managing it, finally reaching those 16 days of examination of CA final, and unfortunately getting struck by typhoid or 103. But I would say fortunately for our viewers, because now they know that despite having gone through this entire difficult journey, it's still possible for someone to end up giving the exam in the first place, clearing, and not just that, ending up getting a single digit rank, and the best of all, ending up being placed at one of the big 3, that is Boston Consulting Group, BCG. So great hearing from you, Arvind. Thanks a lot for sparing your time. I am damn sure this will certainly help all of our viewers. Before going, any other tips that you would like to give to our viewers?
So like you summarized it in a very good manner. I would also add one thing, that was a lot of fun also. Like going to a place, making new friends there, and like hanging out with them, and hang out with other the people who are more who maybe challenge you, who maybe push you more. So that was really very fun. And going in, like going to multiple places, traveling in audit, that was really fun. Now, okay, so if I could tell you or tell my friends, junior friends supposedly, of things, uh, okay, so it would be rather three things. First one would be that right after your articleship, the trend usually is that people want to start as quickly as possible with their classes. Right. When they complete their inter, they want to start quickly and complete quickly. I would say that don't do that. Probably start it a bit late, because what happened, because this is what exactly happened with me. Like, I also started quickly, but like, because right after you complete your exam, you don't have that kind of flow going within you that you want to seriously complete all your classes again quickly. So give it some time, and enjoy your first few months of articleship, and then probably you can start gradually and gradually pick up the pace. Don't just start with the sixth gear or maybe the fourth gear. Start with 1, 2, 3, and 4. That would give you the flow, and it is actually very necessary. Second thing is that take your articleship very seriously, because that's where it's not just about the application of the academic stuff you're learning. It's your complete holistic development. How you're speaking to people, what is your body language, how you are communicating, how you are applying, how you are learning the technical skills, and obviously it's application of everything you have learned. You're going to learn in your finals. So that take your articleship experience very seriously. And the third thing I would want to say is that yes, the journey is very long. It's very difficult also. It's very challenging also. But you have to push yourself, because the road till the D-Day is full of thorns. You have to keep on walking. You cannot, like, there will be always be many days where you will feel that I don't want to do it, or probably like, what am I doing in my life? But like, those are the days which later on, in retrospect, will make you believe that, like, if I can overcome probably these days, I can do many things ahead. So you need to constantly push yourself, and obviously enjoy the process, because enjoyment doesn't mean that you'll have fun. Enjoyment means that you'll be challenged, and the enjoyment lies in the process or your task of overcoming that challenge. That's what the enjoyment is, not in having fun. Probably you'll not have much fun going through the process. You'll feel very dejected. You'll sometimes feel disappointed. You'll sometimes feel discouraged. But the enjoyment lies in overcoming these three things. Because I always believe in one thing: you are allowed to be disappointed, but you are not allowed to be discouraged and leave the process. You have to keep on walking.
Right. I would say the journey is more beautiful than the destination in itself. Thanks a lot,
Absolutely
Arvind.
true.
Really hearing from you. Thanks a lot. Hope this helps and inspires our viewers. Do let us know your views in the comment. Thanks for watching. Do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.